Hello, this is Mr. 3Delian, and in today's video I want to show you how you can add lag-free custom blocks to your game. And this video is really special to most other videos that are out there because, like I said, this video shows you how you can add custom blocks that are totally lag-free to the Java edition of the game. And this means that it doesn't use the spawner method, and it also doesn't use the armor stand or glow item or normal item frame method. For this who don't know what this is, so basically one method of how to add custom blocks to Java edition would be by using an armor stand where you put a block, so a custom-made block, which you modeled with Blockbench or a different program. You would put this block on the head of the armor stand and would translate and scale it all the way down that it would perfectly fit on top of a block. This is still used if you want to make stuff like custom machines, so you need an inventory like the barrel. But for like normal building blocks, this method is really not that great for your performance. Reason for that is that if you use this method, this will create a lot of lag, because every time you would place another custom block, it would create another entity in your world. So if we already would place 5 of these blocks, we would already have 5 different blocks and 5 entities. And if we would place a stack of these blocks, then we would get a stack of these entities. So this is what we don't want to happen. So we are going to remove this too, because we don't need it. And the spawner one, broke it by accident, but the spawner variant is basically you would take a zombie and would make it that the zombie doesn't rotate in the spawner anymore, and give the zombie again a block on top of his head and scale and rotate it to the right direction so it would perfectly align above the spawner. This one is a bit more lag optimized than the other variant, but it's still really laggy for the client. So the version I'm going to show you is, as I said, doesn't use entities, is lag-free, and it does not replace any vanilla block. But there are some downsides to this variant, and the downside is you only can add up to 52 custom blocks. But with every update that comes out, this number will increase. So with every big update that adds slabs, this number will increase, and to the time of recording, you only can add 8 wooden blocks and 44 stone blocks. Like in 1.19.2, already it would be 9 wooden blocks and a lot of more stone blocks. But the reason for why you use wooden blocks and 44 stone blocks is the reason because Minecraft has 44 stone slabs and 8 wooden blocks. So you are not able to add a custom block that uses a shovel or that uses a sword or that uses shears. That's sadly not possible. You only can stick to wood tools and stone tools. So let me give myself the tools, and if we look here, we can see there is a cobalt ore which I can break, and out of that I get a cobalt ore which I can place again, break again. It works how you would expect. And here we have magic planks I added, which changes the color, but that's not really important, but you could do that. Just wanted to show that it's also possible. We can break that, and as you are seeing, you're getting the magic planks, which you again already can place. But another downside to the whole pack is that you can place these blocks inside of you. So I'll place it here. It would push me to the side. This is not that terrible, but if we would give ourselves a lot of like the cobalt ore, stuff like stacking up is also possible. But if you jump at the wrong moment like I did now, it pushes me to the side. This is also something that you probably if you're like a bit better at making comments, you can find something to avoid it. This is just a basic pack which you can download in the video description, and in this tutorial I will show you how it's done and how we can add a new custom block. And let's do that. Now let me just get myself something ready. I will be right back. So here we are again. What I did between the cut was I made a custom texture for the custom block and already implemented it here under textures. We will go over that in a bit, but basically I just added this texture, which is a silver plank. So we are going to add a plank texture. So what we are going to do is we start by actually creating the block in the resource pack. And how we are going to do this is by opening up the resource pack, of course. Let's close that. And first thing we want to do is go into block states. So the way this data pack works is, let us go back to the game. The way how this data pack works actually, so the magic behind it is that these blocks are actually double slabs, which are waterlogged. So if you look to the right here, this one is a double petrified oak slab, which is waterlogged true. And this one is an oak slab. But if we take ourselves some oak slabs and petrified oak slabs, you can see that we can place them normally and it doesn't change anything. They are still normally in the game. Because whenever you place them above each other, so they are type double, they are no longer waterlogged, and there is no way for you in survival to waterlog this block. It's just not possible for a survival player, but you can do this in creative. So with comments, you can create a block that is waterlogged and has a type of double. So there is again another downside to the block. If we are in creative and break this block, you can see that water will float out of the block. This is not that bad if you basically just use it for survival, but it could be annoying for creative users, so probably use a command for it. Find a way to get around this, but this is how the magic works. So how we are going to do this is, again, we go to our block states folder, and now here's the reason why I said there are only 52 different block types, because you can only replace, do this for every slab there is in the game once. So you can, per every slab that is in the game, you can add one custom block. And for this is the reason why the number always increases when a new update comes out, because whenever Mojang releases a new update, they most likely in every update they will add a new slab and a new, just a new slab variant. And because of that, there is, in every update, this number will just basically increase. So what we are going to do is we want to add our silver planks, and we now we have to decide: do we want them to be broken with an pickaxe, or do we want the player to break them with an axe? So as I said, you only can add 8 wooden blocks, and the reason for that is because there are only 8 slabs in the game at the moment, so 8 wooden slabs. But with 1.19 as an example, the mangrove wood is added, which again adds 1 new slab type. So this is the reason why you then have 9 wooden blocks. So we want to add a wood block. We want it to be broken with an axe. So we are going to edit the spruce slab. So we are going to copy the oak slab and rename it to spruce slab. This has to be named like the name is, like it's the ID is called in the game. And in here we basically replace the first line with spruce slab. This one is going to be spruce planks. And this one is also, again, going to be called spruce slab top. This takes the 3 models that are in the models folder, in the default Minecraft models folder, so you don't really have to care. All you have to know is you replace the first bit with basically what the normal block would be called. And here is a spruce slab top. This takes the top model. There's a different model, but all you basically have to rename is for every block the first word. So in here we now can add our custom block, and this refers to the textures folder, which we now give our custom name. So we wanted to add silver planks, and we are going to call it silver planks. Now we can save this, and everything in here is done. We basically created a new block type, which is called silver planks. And now if we already go in the game and reload the resource pack, which can be done by pressing F3 and T, this will reload the whole resource pack. Now we will be able to give ourselves the silver planks. So we replace the spruce slabs, right? And you can see spruce slabs still there. But if I place a spruce slab, which is type double and waterlogged true, you can see that we have a missing texture. And the reason for that is because we didn't create the model for that now. So what we are going to do next is we are going to head into our models folder, go into the custom folder, and go into the magic, copy the magic planks. You also can copy the cobalt ore in here, it doesn't really matter. And we rename it to spruce planks. Not spruce planks, we name it silver planks, so the name we chose. And in here we do the same, we call it silver planks. Because this block states model, this one, tells the game, hey, take that model, which is in this model file location, which is here, and this model basically tells the game this is a normal block, and take it from the texture folder file where the texture is stored. So you would go into textures, custom block, and in here you would put your custom made block, which you basically can name however you want, but here it is called silver planks, and you have to keep in mind this one is this name, and this name refers to this name. But if you're doing it the right way, you probably will always name it the same. So you call them model silver planks, and here you call the silver planks. So now, if you're going back into the game and reload the game, you can see that we now have our silver planks in the game. So this is already implemented and the resource pack part works now. But what we are going to do is, before we stop editing the resource pack file, we still need to go to item and go to a bed spawn egg. And in here, you copy this whole line. This one is important, don't forget that at the end here. And copy it one underneath. But here you don't need to make one. So every time you add a new block, you're going to increase this number. So now we choose the custom model data of 3. And again, here we rename it simply to silver planks. What this is going to do is, this will give ourselves some silver planks. If we give ourselves, let me just show it to you. So if we give ourselves a bed spawn egg, we have a normal bed spawn egg, right? But if we give ourselves a bed spawn egg that has a custom model data of 1, we give ourselves a bed spawn egg, which basically still is a bed spawn egg. Let me kill all the beds. Which basically still is a bed spawn egg, but it looks different. It looks like a cobalt ore. If we give ourselves the ID of 2, we get the magic wood. And if we give ourselves now one with the ID of 3, it's still a magic wood plank because I didn't reload the resource pack and it then just takes the previous one. But now it looks like our silver plank. So now everything is done that we need to do for the resource pack side. So let's head back and open up our data pack. In here, you go to Minecraft, go to the loot tables, and again, copy the oak slab and rename it to spruce slab. What we are going to do is we are now changing the loot table of the block we are going to destroy. So the loot table defines what does happen with a specific block with specific criteria. So if we break a bottom slab, what do we get? If we place a top slab, what do we get? If we place a double slab, what do we get? And in here we basically replace all the parts that is called oak slab with spruce slab. With Minecraft spruce slab. And we do this everywhere. So here oak slab, oak slab, oak slab, oak slab, and now everything is spruce slab. And the important part is, so what this basically does is it defines everything again, and it tells the game, hey, if there is a double block, if there is a double placed block of slabs, so the type of double, but it is waterlogged false, just basically give me 2 slabs. If it is top or bottom, give me 1 slab. And if it is a double placed, some double placed slabs that are waterlogged, give me a different item. And the item that we want to have is a bed spawn egg. And in here, we change the first number. So in this line, custom model data, we change that one to a 3. So the one that we gave it in the resource pack file. And the other thing you have to change is this one needs to be changed from magic planks to something you can choose, but I would go with silver planks. And in here you have to change that with, so in here there's a translate, and you change that magic planks again to silver planks. We are not quite done with the resource pack part. I did forget something, but we will come back to that later, because it's for this line, it's easier to explain first how you add a block, and then we will take a look at the name. But so what we basically now did create is, if we go back to the game and we reload the game now, because this is now the data pack that we are going to reload, and we take ourselves diamond pickaxe, we should get our silver plank out of here. And this was stupid because now there's a marker. So this one already basically works. So you already saw that we could get the item. And now let's make it actually be able to be placed. Okay, so here after the cut, I didn't switch, I'm sorry. So what we are going to do next is we are going to add the functionality of actually being able to place the block. How we're going to do this is we close the Minecraft directory and we go back to custom blocks and functions. In here there's a folder called admin, and in here there's another folder called gif, and in the gif folder there are these 2 types. This one is not really needed, so you don't need to do this, but I recommend it since the custom blocks we are going to add are not in the creative inventory. So if you want to build with them in creative for some reason and you need them or want to cheat them in, I added this admin command, which gives you the item by using a command. So let's do that because it's really easy to do. We rename the magic planks again to silver planks. And this one is basically the same as in the loot table. We change this one to 3. Name this one the same as we did in the loot table. So we call it silver planks. And here we also call it silver planks. So if you did everything right and go back into the game, there is now an admin command. If you type function, it should autocomplete. And now there's admin gif. And now you can find silver planks. We can give ourselves the silver planks. And now this command basically does the same as we got when we broke the block. So it gives us this block. It has a strange name at the moment, but as I said, we go back to that later. We're focusing on adding a custom block right now. So we're going back into the function, and all you basically have to do now is you go into your blocks folder, go into your create folder, and again copy the magic planks and rename it to silver planks. In here you have to change the oak slab to the slab that you did choose before that you want to replace. So we are going to replace spruce slabs. So in here we type spruce slab, and now you go into the call folder. You copy this whole line, this one, and paste it underneath, and in here we're going to call it the way we did in the loot tables. So this line here, the silver planks line, is going to be the one you want to put in here. And here you want to call this function. So you again type in silver planks. So now a marker that has this data value, which has the silver planks, will call the silver planks function with, and after that will kill itself, but that's not so important. And the silver plank function makes it that the marker places the spruce slab, and it makes a play sound for everyone that is nearby, which is the wood play sound. If you're adding a custom a stone block, of course, you copy the cobalt block, because in here there's the stone placing sound. Otherwise, you can choose if you know how the play sound works. I won't go into the detail, but now you could make every sound. So if you want the block to be an amethyst block, something like an amethyst block, you probably are going to use the whole tutorial I showed you, but you take the petrified oak slab thing here. Also, petrified oak slab was probably stupid to use, but petrified oak slab are basically slabs that are broken with a pickaxe. So you basically can do that and add the amethyst play sound. So you can do whatever you want. You can make it that if you place the sound, the ender dragon screams, but it's all up to you. So this should pretty much be it. If we saved everything, go back into the world and reload the whole thing, and you did everything right. If we place this block now, you can see that it is now fully functional, and we can place the block. And there is a function in the data pack which basically takes the item that is summoned, and it will remove the water that is here. So this is how it is done. But now there's still this small thing missing. I just realized the bug. Let me check something if I thought about it, because if not, I will fix this. Okay, yeah, I thought about it. So now we are going to name the item, and what I did there with the naming system is you can actually translate this to every language. So let's go in here, and we need to go back to the resource pack one final time. So you go into the resource pack, assets, and now we go into the language file. And in here, there is the NUS language file, which tells the game how the things are going to be translated. And what you are going to do here is you copy the last path again and put it in here. And of course, change the later bit to silver planks again. And now we can name it here to silver planks. So this is the whole thing you need to do in order to give the item a name. But now it is translated for every language. So every language that isn't specified in this resource pack will name the block silver planks. But as an example, I'm from Germany. I'm not from Germany, but I speak German. So you can add your language file in here as well. You have to find out what the namespace for it is. But for Germany, it would be DE. And you can basically copy that and put it in here too. This one needs to stay the way it is. So this one will always stay the same. but in here you can now translate it. And for Germany, the name would basically be Silberbretter. And now we can save it. And this one is saved too. So if we go back into the game and reload doesn't, you have to reload the resource pack. The blanks are now called silver blanks. But since we translated it also to German, if we go into our language file and set the game to Deutsch, it is called Silberbretter. So actually it is translated to the language you're using. And you can add not just only custom blocks, but you can really translate them to whatever language you want them to be named. Switch it back to English. And yeah, this is how you can add custom blocks. We did this with planks, but as I said and as I showed you, you can also do that with stone. And the good part is, because we are using loot tables for this system, if you know how to use loot tables or you're a little bit more expert, you're better expert at this level, you basically can also change what criterias there are. So you can even, this is basically something that isn't in, so like if we say this is a cobalt ore, right? And we say we want to handle this like diamond ore. This is not the way it is currently, because if I break it without silk touch, I get the ore itself. But because we're using a loot table, you could also define in the loot table that if you don't have silk touch, you won't get the ore back. You would instead get a cobalt ore or some. You would get like a cobalt ingot or something like that. And if you would break it with silk touch, then you would get the ore. So you actually can define this. You could also say that if you break it with a diamond pickaxe, or even if you break it with any pickaxe that is not a netherite pickaxe, it just won't drop. You can't change the speed, but you can change the mining level. So you actually can say, hey, only with a netherite pickaxe I'm able to break this block. If I'm using a diamond pickaxe, it will break. The problem with it is that you always have to think around replacing the water that is being placed here. But that is something I leave up to you. And you can see for yourself how you want to use it. But this is the method on how to add custom blocks. I hope you liked it. And if this video was helpful for you, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel. And I hope to see you again very soon. And see you later. Bye.